Students, good day. Today we're going to create your laboratory activity number 9 for lesson 9, advanced table. So for this activity, we need your project data files for project 9 that contains these 4 databases, your Alpine Reservation, Fort Coffee Inventory, Lucerne Publishing, and Wingtip Toys. So let's start with your project 9-1, summarize the sales table. The sales table you created at Lucerne Publishing seems incomplete. Add a total row to summarize the data. So we're going to use the Lucerne Publishing that we have saved in our data files. So let's go to our data files and double click to open the database. Next, we're going to click Enable Content. Then we're going to go to your file, then Save Database As. And we're going to save this in our answer folder. So we're going to save this file as Lucerne Publishing XX, where the XX is our initial, and click Save. And then click Enabled Content. Instruction number 1, open the sales table. So in our navigation pane, we're going to select and double click Sales Table to open the object. Instruction number 2, on the Home tab and the Records group, click Total button so that our total row will appear. So let's go to your Home tab, Records group, and now our total row appear. Next, instruction number 3, click the down arrow in the total row of the gross sales column and select Sum. So gross sales, so we're going to click this down arrow and select Sum. Next, instruction number 4, cost of goods column, then select again Sum. Instruction number 5, net sales column, and again select Sum. And that's it. We are able to find the sum of the gross sales, cost of goods, and net sales for our database. Next, save and close the table. So we're going to right click on this tab, Sales tab, then click Save, and then right click again, and then click Close. And of course, close our. Okay, so let's proceed with your project 9-2, analyze the Fort Coffee customers table. In your part-time job as an assistant at the Fort Coffee, you have been taking on most of the database responsibilities. As you learn more and more about Access, you decided to use the table analyzer to check the table you created previously to make sure it is efficient. So let's get ready and launch if it is not already running. Next, in our Backstage view, click Open. And then we're going to select our Fort Coffee inventory database in our Project 9 data files. And then click Open. Next, click Enabled Content, and then go to your file, Save Database As, and we're going to save this in our Answer folder using our file name Fort Coffee Inventory XX, where the XX is our initial, and just click Save. And then click Enabled Content. Next, instruction number 3, open the customers table. So in our navigation pane, we're going to select your customer table and double click to open. Next, instruction number 4, on the database tools tab. So we're going to go to our database tools tab, and in our analyze group, we're going to click analyze table button. And of course, the analyze table wizard dialog box will appear. Instruction number 5, click the next to display the analyze table wizard. So we're going to click next. Instruction number 6, click next to display the next analyze table wizard. So we're going to click next again. And instruction 7, the customer table should be selected. So right now it is selected, so we're going to click next. And next, we're going to select yes, let the wizard decide. Option button should be selected. So it is selected, and next, we're going to click the next button. Instruction number 9, a message is displayed. So the wizard recommends not splitting your table. If you want to manually split your table, choose OK, and of course choose cancel to exit the wizard. So we're going to click OK. Next, instruction number 10, click cancel to close the table wizard. So click cancel. And of course, instruction 11, close the table. So we're going to go to your customer table tab and then click close. And of course, we're going to click close our database. And that's it. Okay, so let's continue with your project 9-3, design the Fort Coffee sales table. Sales data for the Fort Coffee has come in for the first quarter. The manager asks you to create a table that displays the sales for each of the 5 stores in your division. Note, each store is known by a 3-digit number, such as 656. We're going to use the Fort Coffee inventory and our initial created in our previous project. So let's go with your database. Then let's go to our backstage view, click open. Then we're going to select or locate our project 9 data files, and we're going to select the previous database that we created, Fort Coffee inventory, and then click open. Now we need to save this in another file name. So let's go to your file, save database as, and we're going to save this as Fort Coffee inventory, our initial, and then 9-3. Okay, so just to indicate that this is our answer for our project 9-3. So we're going to indicate project 9-3. So project 9-3 Fort Coffee inventory. And just click save. Next, we're going to click enable content so that we can modify the database. Let's proceed with your instruction number 1, create a new table and design window. So what we're going to do is, let's go in our create tab, then tables group, then table design. Instruction number 2, key in ID as the first field name and press tab key and set the data type to auto number. So what we're going to do is, in our field name, the very first field name, we're going to type ID, and for the data type, we're going to select auto number. Next, instruction number 3, key in month as a second field name and press tab key. a message appears stating that the word month is reserved. And we're going to click OK. So we're going to type month. Then if we're going to press tab key, it will display an error message saying that the month is a reserved word. So we're just going to click OK. And of course, we're going to replace this as with a text month for the month. And then the data type is text. Next, enter the remaining field names and data types as shown in figure 9-2 in our instruction. And we're going to set the primary key as the ID as the primary key. So for our third field name, we're going to enter the following data for our field name and each data type. The store, which is a text, and a sales for currency. And again, we're going to set the ID as the primary key for our database design. Okay, so let's proceed. Next, we're going to select the ID field, and in our table tools design tab, click primary key. So it will set the ID field as the primary key for our database table design. Next, instruction number 5, save the table as monthly sales by store. So to save this, let's go to your table tab, right click and click save. The save as dialog box will display. So we're going to name this as monthly sales by store and click OK. Instruction number 6, switch to datasheet view. Okay, so in your monthly sales by store tab, right click and select datasheet view. Next, instruction number 7, enter the data in the table as shown in figure 9-21. So we are asked again to enter the following data in figure 9-21 in our database. So let's proceed. Okay, so we are through with key in the data for our database. So instruction number 8, insert a total row. So to do this, let's go to your home tab, records group, and click total. Next, instruction number 9, count the month field and some sales field. So let's go to your month, and we're going to select count. And of course, for our sales column, we're going to select sum. So the total row is 16 months, and for the sales, the total sales is $1,383,125. Instruction number 10, save and close the table. So let's go to your monthly sales by store tab and then click save. Then right click again and then click close. And of course, close the entire database. And that's it. We are done with your Project 9-3 design, the Fort Coffee sales and table. Okay, so let's proceed with your Project 9-4, summarize the Wingtip Toys table. As a marketing coordinator at the Wingtip Toys, you are constantly examining sales data and trying to think of ways to increase sales. Total the inventory table to get a clear picture of the current inventory. So let's launch our access and open Wingtip Toys inventory. In our access backstage view, let's go to your file and then click open. We're going to locate our Project 9 data files. Then we're going to select Wingtip Toys inventory and click open. Next, click enabled content. Instruction number 2, save the database as Wingtip Toys inventory. So let's go to your file, save database as, and we're going to save this as Wingtip inventory and our initial. Then let's save this in our folder and click save. Next, click enabled content. Instruction number 3, open the inventory table. So in our navigation pane, select and double click inventory table object. Next, instruction number 4, insert a total row. So to do that, let's go to your home tab, records group, and then select total. Now we have your total row. Instruction number 5, count the description field. So we have your description column. So we're going to select count. Next, sum in the stock field. So we're going to select stock field and then right click, select in the drop down list, sum. And of course, add a sum for the price field. So let's go to your price field and then select sum. Instruction number 6, save and close the table. So let's go to your inventory tab, click save, and then right click again and select close. And we're going to close the database. Okay, so let's proceed with your Project 9-5, design the Wingtip Toys yearly sales table. So the owner of the Wingtip Toys has given you yearly sales data for each of the company's sales channel and create a table in which to store the total and total the data. So we're going to use the Wingtip toys inventory that we have created in our previous exercise. So let's go to your database. So again, click open. And of course, we're going to locate your Project 9 data files. And we're going to select the Wingtip toys inventory that we created earlier in the previous project and click open. Next, let's go to your file and save database object as. So this is an additional instruction. So we're going to save this as your project 9 dash 5. Just to indicate that this is our answer for our project 9-5. And just click save. Then click enabled content. Instruction number 1, create a new table and design view. So let's go to your create tab, tables group, table design. Instruction number 2, create a table as shown in figure 9-22. So we are asked again to create a table based on figure 9-22. So we're going to set the ID as the primary key and the data type of auto number. And we have also your catalog, the internet, stores, and other as a data type for currency. So let's proceed. Next, we're going to set the ID field as our primary key. So we're going to select the ID field and in our table tools design, click primary key. Next, instruction number 3, save the table as yearly sales and switch to the datasheet view and review the table you just created. So let's go to our table tab, right click and then save. And we're going to save this as yearly sales and click OK. Next, we're going to switch to our datasheet view. So right click again in your yearly sales tab and select datasheet view. So we have created the different field, catalog, ID, catalog, internet, stores, and other, and ID as the primary key. Next, switch back to design view again. So right click and select design view. We're going to insert instruction number 5. We're going to insert a blank row above the catalog field. So we have your catalog field. So we're going to insert a new row above. So catalog, right click on the catalog, then click insert row. And we're going to name this as year and with a data type of text. Next, we're going to select the year field and click primary key button to designate year field as the new primary key. So we're going to right click on or to select the year field and then click our primary key to assign the year field as our new primary key. Next, we're going to instruction number 8. We're going to delete the ID field. So we're going to select the ID field, right click and select delete row and just click yes. Instruction number 9, save the table and switch to the design view. So right click on your tab, then click save, right click again, and select datasheet view. Next, enter the data in the table as shown in figure 9-23. So again, we are asked to enter the following data for our table. Figure 9-23. So let's proceed. Data for our table. Let's proceed with instruction number 11, save the table. So let's go to your tab, right click and then click save. Next, instruction number 12, insert a total row. So while the last row is selected, let's go to your home tab, records group, and select total. So for our total row, sum the catalog, the internet, the stores, and other column. So let's start with your catalog. Click our drop down list and click sum. The internet as well. And then our stores. And of course, lastly the other. Okay, next, instruction number 14, save and close the table, and of course, close the database. So right click on our tab, click save, and of course, close the database. So that's it. We are through with project 9-5, design the Wingtip toys yearly sales table. Let's proceed with your project 9-6, analyze the Alpine reservation table. As an administrative assistant for the Alpine Ski House, you have noticed that one of the tables you use on a regular basis seems large and cumbersome, and you have to enter some of the same data again and again. We decided to run the table analyzer to see if the table needs to be split. So let's get ready and launch our access. So in our access backstage view, click open. We're going to locate our project 9 data files. And of course, we're going to select Alpine reservations and click open. Click enable content so that we can modify the database. And let's go to your file, save database as, and we're going to save this as Alpine reservation, and of course our initial. And we're going to save this in our folder and just click save. Next, click enable content. Instruction number 3, select the reservation table in our navigation pane. So we're going to select reservation table. Instruction number 4, run the table analyzer, letting the wizard decide how to split the table. So let's go to your database tools. Next, analyze. We're going to select analyze table. And just click next. And then of course, still clicking next. And the reservation table should be selected in our wizard and click next. Of course, we're going to select yes, let the wizard decide and click next. So instruction number 5, rename the table 1 to reservation details and rename the table 2 to room detail. So in the right side of our wizard, we're going to click rename table button. And for our table 1, we're going to rename this as reservation details and click OK. Next, we're going to select your table 2 and again, click rename table button. And we're going to rename this table 2 as room details and click OK. Next, we're going to click instruction number 6. Select the ID field in the reservation details table and designate it as a primary key. So we're going to select reservation table. Next, we're going to select next. So next, we're going to select the ID field in our reservation table. Then we're going to set this as our primary key. So let's go to your primary key button, set unique identifier, and select. And just click next. Instruction number 7, create the query and finish the wizard. So we're going to select yes, create the query option button and click finish. So in our navigation pane, we are able to create 2 new tables. So we have your reservation detail table and your room details table. As well as we are able to create a query for our table. Also, we have your reservation table, then the old one. Okay, and that's it. So instruction number 8, save and close the database. So let's go to your quick access toolbar, click save, and then close the database. And that's it for your project 9-6, analyze the alpha and reservation table. For this project, for project 9, you are expected to submit the following database. You have your alpha and reservation, Fort Coffee inventory, Lucerne Publishing, project 9-3, Fort Coffee inventory. So your answer for your project 9-3. And of course, your answer for your project 9-5, Wingtip Toys inventory. And lastly, your Wingtip Toys inventory. So you are expected to pass 6 database for this project. And that's it, students, for your lesson 9 project and laboratory activity advanced table. Thank you for your time and see you again in our next project.